great drinks. Carry out or dine in 7 days a week at both great locations. Stop in or order online for carryout at DonJuliosWinfield.com or DonJuliosTroy.com. Don Julio's Mexican Restaurant in the Winfield Plaza and Don Julio's Taco Express at number 3 Troy Center. And don't forget, buy one, get one free on Wednesday in Troy and on Monday in Winfield. That's Don Julio's Mexican Restaurant in the Winfield Plaza and Don Julio's Taco Express at number 3 Troy Center. Veteran owned and operated. Bringing great authentic Mexican food home to Lincoln County. Hasta pronto!
Out and about once again in Troy, Missouri. South Lincoln Drive means Country State of Mind Designs. I'm talking with Lisa today. There's a saying that goes, if your business doesn't have a sign, there's no sign of your business.
That's correct.
So Country State of Mind Designs does so much more than just signs. But that's the main thrust of things, right? You're trying to help the visibility of local businesses to ensure their viability.
We thrive on helping you guys be noticeable and recognizable. We can do anything from light signs, flat signs, vehicle graphics, shirts.
You guys have a lot more to offer than just signs.
We do embroidery here. We also have the newest and latest t-shirt with the direct-to-film printer. We actually print in-house.
You guys have a great website at countrystateofminddesigns.com. And if somebody wants to talk about an upcoming project, Lisa, how do they get a hold of you?
636-775-1117, or they can email us at csmdesigns.troy@gmail.com.
Out and about in Troy, Missouri at Country State of Minds at 139 South Lincoln Drive. Come see Lisa and the whole staff today.
Live from the Gateway Fiber Studios, online at gatewayfiber.com. News Radio 105.3, 1280 KYRO Troy. It's 10 o'clock in the Heartland.
Fox News, I'm Paul Stevens. A hostage handover reportedly underway as the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas is now in effect following an overnight delay.
The agreement was delayed about 3 hours after Hamas failed to provide that key list of names of which hostages would be released today, prompting the Israeli military to launch a series of airstrikes across northern and central Gaza. Hamas has now released those names of 3 women who are all believed to be alive.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Meantime, New York City will not cooperate with any Trump White House immigration raids due to standing local laws
that prohibit several city law enforcement agencies from cooperating with ICE unless the cases involve suspected terrorists or other serious public safety threats.
Fox's Jane Fergus. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages finishing higher for the day and week, with both the Dow and S&P 500 notching their largest weekly gain since the presidential election. Markets appear to be optimistic ahead of the Trump presidency, with investors getting in gear for a batch of policy changes under the new administration. Tech was the best performer, while healthcare lagged and chip stocks advanced. Shares of Intel jumped 9%, following a report that the chipmaker is an acquisition target. Shares of both Meta Platforms and Alphabet gained after the Supreme Court upheld a federal law that would ban TikTok nationwide on Sunday unless it was sold by its China-based parent company. The price of Bitcoin surging, topping $104,000. The Dow up 335 points, the Nasdaq higher by 292, S&P 500 up 59. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
It is time to take the quiz.
5 days a week, it's 5 questions in less than 5 minutes. We ask people on the streets of New York City to play along. Let's see how you do.
Including the pre-Super Bowl era, what NFL franchise has won the most NFL championships?
I'm going to say the Cowboys.
I guess I would say the Packers.
How'd you do exactly? These get tougher, so hang on.
Take the quiz every weekday at thequiz.fox. Thank you for taking the quiz.
Trust the professionals at Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions. Buying or selling, they'll make your dreams come true. Here's commercial property and development expert Rick Meyer.
Lincoln County has seen tremendous growth, and especially in residential, but along with that brings commercial development opportunities. Meyer & Company Real Estate's really tried to focus, and a lot of my direct focus has been on how can we bring good growth to our area, bring the services that we need. I think there has been a lot of interest by commercial developers to come and bring projects to, and we're right in the middle of it. There is a lot of interest in multifamily apartments or villas. Bottom line, not everybody can afford to buy a new house or find a place of their own on acreage. We really do have a need for multifamily and rental properties, whether it's a retail type operation. We're trying to attract those type businesses to the area as well.
Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, North Lincoln Drive in Troy, 636-462-5555. Online at MeyerListings.com.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Isaac Lowenkron.
On Saturday night, the Washington Commanders won at 1 seed Detroit 45-31 to advance to the NFC Championship game for the first time in 33 years. Commanders rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels completed 22 of 31 for 299, 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions. The Commanders scored on 7 of their 9 drives. They only punted once. The Lions, meanwhile, committed 5 turnovers, including 3 Jared Goff interceptions. Washington will visit today's Eagles-Rams winner in the NFC Championship game. Philadelphia will host the Rams today at 3 p.m. Eastern. Earlier Saturday, the Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Houston Texans 23-14. The Chiefs will host either the Buffalo Bills or Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game. Those teams square off today at 6:30 Eastern.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center. Online at MeyerListings.com. Broken clouds in Troy. Getting down to 8 overnight tonight. Monday's high will be in the lower 20s. Scattered clouds likely. Temperatures in the upper teens forecast on Tuesday. Currently in Troy it's 10. In Warrenton it's 10 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground? Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions. Online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Well, good Sunday morning, January the 19th. This is Uncensored Wrestling Talk, and we are live in the Gateway Fiber studios of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM KYRO. Of course, I am Sarge, and along with me this morning, we have Superfan. He's the nematode Nelly. He is Tim Williams. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
And, of course, sitting in for H.D. Daniels this morning, we've got the doll.
The Ultimate Warrior.
The Ultimate Warrior.
The Warrior Universe is back. Ah!
Yeah, he's actually pretty quiet this morning.
Yeah.
So, craziness. We're being all kinds of crazy this morning. So, you know, already off the bat on the Facebook feeds, we're getting people watching and seeing and looking and having fun with us. You know, good morning to Mark Griswold. He says good morning to us. Also to Herb Simmons, good morning to you, dear sir. We hope both of you and everybody else that's watching is having a good morning this morning. The sun is out, but man, is it cold out there. It's like 9 really degrees. The wind is blowing. No, I'd rather be in a nice warm studio talking on the radio right now. You know, we got to thank our main sponsor for this show, NWA World League Wrestling. You know, the next live event will be February the 8th at the Race Wrestling Arena. Get your tickets now. Don't wait. We're less than 3 weeks away. From what I understand, it's going to be a very, very good card. Those matches are going to be announced here very, very soon. Hopefully we'll have something more on that, next week. But, don't wait to get your tickets, folks, because as we saw several different times last year, Tim, not only sellouts, but sometimes double sellouts.
Absolutely.
And days before the actual event. So if you wait until the day of to get, you might just find out that you're going to be sitting out in the cold.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the thing about it is we missed January. Now we got the next event coming up on February 2nd, and I have missed live event.
Right.
So,
right.
Everybody get your ticket. It's going to be the hottest night in Troy on Saturday night, February 2nd. So
that's right.
It might be cold outside that day, but it's going to be hot inside that building.
And of course, we are on Facebook. The 105.3 FM, 1280 AM. Reverse those numbers. You'll find it on Facebook, KYRO. Also, we are on Traveling East Productions, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble channels. Go like and subscribe there. Of course, also Uncensored Wrestling Talk's Facebook page as well. And the video broadcast of the shows here on KYRO are brought to you in partnership with Traveling East Production and made possible by Safe Harbor Insurance, Blue Line Lawn Care and Landscaping, Original Crow Feather Crystal Healing Jewelry, and Pickle on the Run. Go check those folks out on Facebook, Instagram, and X as well. And hey, we're on X too. UW Talk KYRO. So we're all over the place this morning. Join us with our conversation with your opinions and questions as well. And so I want to start off this morning with a little bit of breaking news that we got on Thursday. And that is this. And this is a press release directly from WWE themselves. WWE, part of TKO Group Holdings and TNA Wrestling, one of the world's top wrestling brands and a subsidiary of Anthem Sports and Entertainment, announced a multi-year partnership aimed at creating unprecedented crossover opportunities within WWE and TNA programming for NXT superstars and TNA wrestling stars. Now, the agreement will enable talent to garner additional exposure across key WWE and TNA programming, including weekly flagship shows such as NXT, which airs live on the CW, and TNA Impact, which is on Access TV, and also select WWE premium live events and TNA pay-per-views, in turn bolstering their in-ring development with exposure to world-class talent and coaching. This historic relationship demonstrates that collaboration and competition do not have to be mutually exclusive, said Ariel Schnerer, Senior Vice President of Content and Distribution for TNA Wrestling and Anthem Sports and Entertainment. Our partnership allows the TNA Wrestling brand and its incredible athletes to reach a significantly wider audience while giving WWE and NXT stars an opportunity to cross the line and gain valuable experience as they join forces with one of the most talented rosters in professional wrestling today. The response to our collaboration over the past year has been tremendous, and both companies have benefited. But the fans have reaped the greatest rewards from this talent crossover and working relationship. We look forward to growing and evolving our partnership with TNA Wrestling and its outstanding group of athletes by creating new opportunities to further the development of our talent and to elevate the viewer experience at home, said WWE Senior Vice President of Talent Development Creative Shawn Michaels. Now, former TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordan Grace and Joe Hendry frequently appeared on NXT programming in 2024, highlighted by an NXT Championship match featuring Hendry and Ethan Page at No Mercy. And then also an NXT Women's Championship match featuring Grace and Roxanne Perez at Battleground. Many NXT superstars also crossed the line into TNA wrestling, including Wesley's short-lived reunion with the Radicals, Charlie Dempsey and the No Quarter Catch Crew, Riley Osborne, Dante Chen, Gallus, Ariana Grace, Tatum Paxley, Izzy Dame, Wendy Chu, Brinley Reese, and many, many more. So TNA, as I said, TNA Impact airs on Access TV and TNA Plus in the U.S., in addition to being distributed internationally on TNA Plus and other leading broadcast platforms, including Sportsnet 360 across Canada. And we also know from November of 2023, actually, that the WWE and the CW had announced a 5-year agreement to bring NXT to broadcast television for the first time in its 13-year history. And so that's the entirety of the press release. And yeah, we saw a lot of good stuff come out between their crossovers between WWE, NXT, and TNA last year. And, you know, this multi-year deal really opens the door for a lot of folks to go back and forth, broaden their horizon, and learn, especially those developing wrestlers, to learn the craft even more.
No, absolutely. I mean, you know, when that news first broke, I sat there. Is WWE just now catching up with some other organizations? You know, AEW pulls in AAA and several from Japan now, and even look at NWA. NWA is pulling in all these independents and bringing it under their fold. So it's really a common trend right now, if you ask me, that you basically get larger rosters and be able to do crossovers. Does that make the fans extremely happy? Yes. I mean, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love being able to, you know, then you could really get into your fantasy bookings.
Oh, for sure.
You know, but then you kind of go, okay, so let's say Nick Nemeth. He goes over to NXT. Does he come in as Nick Nemeth, or does he come back as Dolph Ziggler?
Oh, no. He goes back in as Nick Nemeth, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
You know, so there's a few little quirks that you go, well, I wonder what that's going to take.
But, you know, this really opens the door for that matchup that we were talking about that I wanted to see, you know, last year, and that is Moose taking on Obafemi.
Exactly.
And Obafemi just captured the NXT championship not too long ago. So you could...
I think you were reading my mind right there.
Yeah,
that
you could very well have
thing.
a championship match with that right there. And, of course, you know, Moose was, however you want to call it, the X Division champion. What's going on with that title, you know, that's still to be seen. But yeah, that would be a really cool champion versus champion type of match.
Right. But then you go, hey, let's fast forward it. What about Moose being in the Royal Rumble?
Wow. Yeah.
How awesome would it be for him? Just like last year was Jordan Grace making this kind of surprise at the Women's Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
And the splash she made off that was incredible. Put Moose in that position.
Now, I couldn't see, let's say, with the Royal Rumble itself, you know, the winner going for a title shot over on the TNA side.
No,
I can't see that.
I don't see
happening.
that either.
But what I do see happening though is for like WrestleMania weekend, when on that, I believe it's usually on that Friday night beforehand. Or well, it's usually like, actually, let me take this back a little bit. On Saturday afternoons before WrestleMania starts, usually in the morning is when it usually starts. These last couple of years, NXT will have their pay-per-view,
right?
And why can't you have a mixture of both, you know, TNA and NXT superstars going at each other? Heck, you could even have an actual true Worlds Collide type pay-per-view.
Exactly. It's a lot of great fantasy booking for us, But flip side is there's a lot of good stories you could tell out of it too.
Yeah.
Because who's to say you don't ban somebody just to a organization? Could that be a stipulation match now?
For sure.
Guess what? Someone like Wesley, we're going to pick on Wesley a little bit, that, he needs to get back in the picture. He should be in the title picture. But how cool it would be to go, you know what, Wesley? You lost this match in NXT, and now you're stuck on TNA for a while.
Yeah. Could be. But you can't really... I don't think that's a good thing to look at it as a demotion type thing.
Right.
Of being, quote-unquote, stuck on TNA now. You know what I mean?
But then you're eliminated from several belts that you could even have. I think that's more what it is.
Well, yeah. But I think this also gives a really great opportunity for both sides, their champions, to be showcased on both shows. Both on TNA Impact and on NXT on the CW.
Yeah, well, we saw Masha Slamovich this week appear on WWE TV.
Yeah.
So, again. But then again, what do you do with someone like Jordynne Grace? I mean, we both agree, and I think, or at least personally, I think she should go to the main roster.
Yeah.
I think Roxanne Perez probably should go to the main roster right now.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't argue it. I can't disagree with it.
If the collaboration is just between TNA and NXT as using a springboard to come up to the main roster, I would kind of like to see a little bit more. Even main roster can go anywhere they want to go.
For sure. And also, this morning on the Facebook, Alderman David Norman from Troy saying good morning to us, and good morning to you, Mr. Norman. And we're gonna have to have him on the show one of these weekends coming, because he's a huge wrestling fan as well. So, because I mean, beforehand, before I started, quote unquote, working for WLW, I was doing the outside barbecues and all that kind of stuff, and he really stepped up and took over all that after I moved on the inside of the WLW family. So, he
had a great barbecue this last summer.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he really did. It was an awesome time. So, with that being said, we were up against our very first break of the show, but when we come back, we're gonna jump into some news and rumors from this past week of wrestling, and because there's quite a bit of different things going on that we need to discuss.
Absolutely.
And you can join us again on the Facebook pages and Rumble and YouTube. Join us with your conversations and your questions, and we'll be right back here on News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO.
Go for your future today. The Pike Lincoln Technical Center. Adult education classes forming now. Find out more on Facebook, Twitter, or online at pltc.k12.mo.us or call 573-485-2900. Go for your future at the Pike Lincoln Technical Center.
Operating Engineers Local 513, proud to support the Mizzou Tigers, St. Louis Blues, Kansas City Chiefs, and local high school sports on News Radio KYRO. The Local 513 training program at Highway 61 and F is now accepting apprenticeship applications to build your future. Motor grader, backhoe, crane operation, and maintenance programs earn college credits and employment as an operator. Visit the Local 513 training program website at iuoe513.com and start building your future today.
Need that morning pick-me-up on your way to work? Downtown Winfield's the place to be. Common Grounds Coffee House, featuring the almost world-famous Block 25. Common Grounds Coffee House. Check us out on Facebook or stop by today, 205 Main Street, downtown Winfield.
Welcome back to Uncensored Wrestling Talk here in the Gateway Fiber Studios of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. I am Sarge. He is Superfan, the Nematode Nelly, Tim Williams. And before we left the show for the first break, we were talking about the partnership between WWE and TNA. And just to wrap it up, I really can't wait to see the crossovers that are going to happen. I think it's going to be very, very cool.
Yeah, the surprise appearances and everything. That's what it is. And again, create storylines, and it's just going to bolster each brand.
Yeah, for sure. And all day Aiden Riley.
Oh, Chicken Little,
joining us on Facebook as well.
We got to roll your eyes. Back in the you roll your eyes every time I say that.
He carries around that crazy lead pipe, and you just asking for the trouble with him.
I got my protector right here.
You keep asking for trouble with him.
He's about the same size as...
Shush. You keep asking for trouble with him and with Skylar Sparks, and I'm telling you, I'm telling you right now, if you don't stop, it's gonna come back to bite you one of these days. And I wasn't even doing anything wrong, and it bit me. All right, so knock it off, you. Just be careful is all I'm saying.
All right.
All right, let's get into some of the news and rumors that have been going on. And this is something that we kind of touched on last week. And again, it happened for the second week in a row. The Wrestling Observer newsletter was told that Triple H is looking at 2.5 hours as the quote-unquote sweet spot for Raw's typical runtime on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
As a paying subscriber to Netflix, and I get it, I realize that we've got all this other content on Netflix. But for me, and this is just me personally, okay? The only reason why I got Netflix was to watch Raw. And then also, subsequently, other WWE programming that will happen on Netflix. I don't like it. I feel like with the money that I pay for this thing, which, I mean... monthly, I guess you could say it's really not that much, but when you add it up over the year, we're talking good, I don't know, about $180 for the year. So, you know what? I want my 3 hours. I want my 3 hours, man.
No, I agree. I mean, I guess I was expecting less commercials because they got the deal. I understand some commercials, but again, we're still talking 7-8 commercials at 30 seconds a pop, so we're 3 minutes each commercial break.
At least.
And they take just as many commercial breaks, if not more, it seems like, than what they were when they were on USA.
Well, here's another thing. During those commercial breaks, outside of the United States, I've been told that the international audience gets to see backstage interviews and different things going on. And you know what? If they made it an option, if you pay for, the higher plans for Netflix or whatever, you get to see those as well, like I am doing, I wouldn't be quite as, I guess, upset over it if I'm getting to see that quote-unquote extra content.
But is it worth that? I mean...
Sometimes those interviews and those promos and different things that happen backstage and different things that they show further storylines.
Right.
So when you see something happening and you're like, well, why did that just happen? Well, that just happened because of what happened backstage just a few minutes ago that you didn't get to see.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. But this is still, week 2? We're only... 2 weeks into the whole Netflix, Raw on Netflix. I say let's give it 2 months before we go, is this the best move and is it right,
of course, also Mark Griswold on the Facebook page, just now seeing this. This was for
that's right.
the comments that we were talking about with All Day Aiden Riley. He says, if you can't beat them, grab the pipe. And I'm telling you, he and his wife Penny, they made up a shirt for Aiden Riley that has that exact saying on it. And yikes! Dig your hole, my friend. Just dig your hole. Also, Ray Phoenix's merchandise has apparently been pulled from AEW's online shop. leading to increased speculation about his future at AEW and how soon he may be able to join Penta in WWE. Now, from what I have heard, read, and have learned, with his injury time that he has accumulated over the last year and a half or so, that time has been put onto the quote-unquote back end of his contract, and that runs almost through the end of 2025.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, if Tony Khan has put that, extra time at the end of his contract, I want to see Rey Fenix on TV. Don't just let him sit at home and do nothing.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, I kind of...
That's not fair.
It's not fair to him because now you're taking a year away from him being able to do something and create memories and increase his stock, to say.
Well, it's not fair to him, but it's also not fair to the wrestling fans either, to be quite honest about it.
Right. I don't know. I think it wouldn't shock me if there's some legal battle that probably fights behind the scenes that nobody knows about to either get him out of the contract or something. If I was Rey Fenix, I would definitely try to figure some legality because he's going to go to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
And, of course, also now watching on Facebook, we have Mr. Sean Patrick, one of my favorites from WLW from not too long ago. And that's another person we need to get in here in the studio before much longer. So thank you for joining us, Mr. Patrick. We do appreciate you as well. Another thing is the Observer indicates that Miro, Phoenix, Ricky Starks, and Malachi Black will all sign with WWE after their AEW contracts expire. In fact, WWE is already talking creative ideas, quote unquote, for Black right now. So, but here's the name off that list that I find, two names that I find strikingly funny is number one, Ricky Starks. It's been like a year.
Yeah.
It's been a year or so since we've seen him on AEW programming. And
he was
really,
doing some
honestly,
indies.
there's no reason for him not to be being utilized.
Right. He was recently, I guess it was probably maybe 2 months ago, he was in St. Louis for the show down in St. Louis.
Yeah, and that's what HD was saying. He's seen him down there.
He's doing the indies, but then again, it wasn't maybe a couple weeks ago that they said no, he couldn't go to any indie show.
When he was here in St. Louis for that indie show down in St. Louis proper, that was one of the last indie showings that he actually did.
Right.
And that was towards the beginning of the year last year, like in March, April, May timeframe. And so after that, he had made an appearance for GCW. And then after that in-ring promo, he got pulled.
Right.
And AEW really hasn't let him do anything.
Right.
And I just it's bothersome to me,
right?
To seeing
because you're taking away time. Time's a valuable commodity for any wrestler.
Well, here's another thing.
And now you're taking time away.
And granted, they can be training during their time off and all of that kind of thing, but there is such a thing as ring rust, and when you don't have live competition going on, such as the AEW programming, whatever the case may be, the indie shows, all of that, you can develop some serious ring rust. And when you develop the ring rust, that leaves it open for more injuries to happen.
Right. Well, that, and if you're a wrestler, I'm sure the adrenaline rush you get walking into the ring and performing in front of people is way better than anything else. And if you're saying, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, then now you're taking away what you driving to do. That should be your main drive. It's just that rush you get from the fans, from performing. That is, and you go, oh, well, your contract, you've been injured too much, and now we're just going to shelf you.
Yeah. And also, good morning to Andrew Michael Strobel. He's on there watching with us on the Facebook as well. But I'm definitely going to have to get in touch with Sean Patrick this week to set something up for very, very soon, because he says that, and I quote, I have an announcement to make when I'm on. We'll set it up soon.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Nice.
Very, very interesting. I can't wait for that. I love announcements. I do love announcements. But unless they're coming from Tony Khan, because we see that
Right.
all the time when he starts doing those. And then it kind of loses its luster when he does that. But this, oh yeah, I can't wait for that. That would be very, very cool to do. Also, Drew McIntyre told Mail Sports' Alex McCarthy that he recently asked The Rock for, quote unquote, a little favor, and he's working on that for me. I wonder what that little favor could be. That's quite interesting.
Well,
something to ponder.
Well, obviously, he still has a beef with Roman Reigns.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's probably the favor.
It could be. It could very well be. It could very well be. We will see. That brings me to the whole CM Punk favor thing.
Right.
We got Royal Rumble coming up on February the 1st. If he doesn't win that favor could very well be Paul Heyman getting him a main event slot
right
on WrestleMania, whether that be night 1 or night 2. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Christopher Daniels, his in-ring career is likely coming to a close after last night's episode of AEW Collision per Fightful Select. His Texas Death Match against Hangman Page was taped on Thursday. F4W Online's Dave Meltzer said, I don't know how they're going to show this match on TV with this much blood. Well, Dave Meltzer, they did.
Right.
They showed it. They showed the entirety of it. And wow. I mean, here's the thing with that with me. And again, this is just my own personal views.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else has to take it. That's fine. However, when you have, and I'm not saying Christopher Daniels does it all the time, and I'm not saying Hangman Adam Page does it all of the time. However, when you do it all of the time on the programming itself, and granted, it had been a couple of weeks since we really, maybe a month or so, since we really saw some serious, I guess, blood going on. But last year we saw so much of it that after a while, it loses its game.
Yeah.
It loses its luster.
Well,
the crimson face is expected then. And that's not good.
I mean, the thing of it was, when Page picked up the chair, hit him in the forehead, I knew as the cutaway, then they came back, of course, he's kept busted wide open. Again, why Texas Deathmatch? Why not just some other just straight up match? They went to this, to me, something like this, if you're going to do it, as we know, AEW loves long programs. Mm-hmm. Just have a Texas Deathmatch on a program.
And you know what? I don't mind the long programs themselves. I really don't. But it's just that
I didn't like
so
the
much
start
blood going on all the time. It truly does lose something in the translation of it all.
Yeah, and to start off Collision that way, I don't know if personally I don't think it was the right choice.
Yeah.
So, but again, they're trying to keep up and trying to keep what they're kind of known for with just doing color matches just to do them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
And also, Meltzer notes that AEW's Grand Slam Australia event on February the 15th will actually air on TNT Network after coverage of the NBA's All-Star Saturday Night, which will result in basically a 21-hour or so tape delay, because it is happening down in Australia. You know what? I don't mind that so much being put on free TV. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. You know, I don't think they're building this as a marquee card per se. You know, like a All Out or All In. You know, but then again, you know what? We just had they called Maximum Carnage.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And I know this is
that
part
going to
of
get
the...
old? That everything is a special week, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Winter's in, we got, you know.
Now I know that this is part of the results from Dynamite this past week, and we'll get into all of the results here in a little while. But I think that the main event for Grand Slam from Australia should be for the AEW Women's Championship, featuring Toni Storm versus Mariah May.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. You know, and it's funny because which Tony is finally going to show up?
The same one that we've been seeing over the last month or so.
You think so?
Yeah.
There's nothing the face-to-face, the whole face-to-face isn't going to stir something in and get timeless?
A hit to the head, a chair shot to the head, a head slam into the ring post or steps or, you know, something, some sort of a move. Might do it during the match.
Right.
Possibly. But just leading up to it, no, I don't see anything happening.
I'm enjoying the old Toni Storm gimmick.
Same
you
here.
know, it's fun and the whole, hey, I'm going for my first championship here at AEW.
For sure. Absolutely. You know, also earlier this week, and this is quite interesting, AEW star Brody King filed for a trademark on the phrase "Hounds of Hell."
Really? I did not know that.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
and that's the thing.
But is
with Malachi Black apparently leaving AEW, and his contract is supposed to be a February-March time frame, somewhere in there. If they're not going to do the House of Black anymore... Maybe that's the name of the tag team for himself and Buddy Matthews.
I mean, that could somewhat work, but then now you got to change, because I really like Julius Hart's entrance, the House Always Wins song.
Yeah.
And I really do like that song.
I think they should still be the House of Black.
I think they should be the House of Black. It doesn't just because
and maybe
they don't
just
have
their tag team name is going to be Hounds of Hell.
But did you see the Gates of Agony are returning?
Yeah.
And who are they going to take on? Brody King and Buddy Matthews.
That's right. It's going to be a very good match.
I'm excited about that.
It's going to be very, very good. Well, the trouble and the drama continues. Corey Graves was genuinely unhappy a couple of weeks ago when he found out Wade Barrett was getting the SmackDown color commentator job over him, per Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio. And you know what? I've got to say, I have really enjoyed Corey Graves' work, both on Monday Night Raw and on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And to include the pay-per-views and PLEs and whatever you want to call them. And I know that he looks at, and in the tweets that he's put out and then subsequently took them down and what have you, that he looks at being put on the NXT commentary team not as a filler, as a demotion.
Well, it seems
I
like
think he looks at it as a demotion.
Absolutely, I'd look at it because he's done great work. I mean,
he really has.
And now, flip side, I also, and it's scuttlebutt, they're also talking about an in-ring return for him too.
He has been medically cleared, and he's been medically cleared for quite some time now, actually. Right. But I don't know. I just don't. I know he's a former NXT Tag Team Champion.
Right.
But boy, oh boy, he hasn't been
right. He's going to be stepping into a hornet's nest, and if he even jumps into NXT,
that would be roster.
You know, so he built his. If you ask me, his kind of little bit of his WWE legacy, literally on commentating, and for them to kind of shun them by the wayside every 4 months or whenever Pat McAfee can come back from doing the college game day, I'd be kind of upset.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the question. Do you take Pat McAfee or do you take Corey Graves as the commentator on Monday Night Raw? I mean, I for one, I really enjoy Pat McAfee's commentating.
I do,
and I'll be honest, at first, when he first started doing it, I wasn't really keen on it.
Yeah.
I really wasn't.
Yeah.
But he's grown on me.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Or do you leave McAfee for PLEs and special events?
That's a good question too. That's
You know.
a good question. Or do you keep Corey Graves on those PLEs and special events?
Right. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see what
I feel
happens
bad for
with
Corey
commentators.
Graves because I think it's just going to make him lose track than keep going forward.
And of course, everyone in WWE who Meltzer talked to believes the drama going on with Corey Graves this week is in the last couple of weeks is a shoot. So
right,
and Meltzer is also now leaning, excuse me, in that direction as well. Excuse me. I don't know what took Meltzer so long to lean towards that way, but that's another story for another day.
Because Tony
I
Khan
guess.
said, "No, Corey Graves is not coming to announce at AEW."
All right, we are over our time to take a quick break here, so we're going to go ahead and take that real quick, and when we come back, we continue on with news and rumors from the week here on Uncensored Wrestling Talk on News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO, and we'll be right back.
Hey everybody, it's the Burgundy. Today we're at Alternative Automotive and we're with Jerry Hinkey. Jerry is kind of a YouTube and Facebook star because he does these very informative videos that he puts on social media. Jerry, one of the things that hit me, it's the holidays. They forget about doing things. One of the most important things that they can do to prolong the life of their car is keep their oil changed.
Absolutely. Maintenance is the most important thing you can do to the car to make it last. You don't have to change your oil. We'll change your engine for you, but it's a lot easier to change your oil.
Why is it so important?
The oil breaks down over time. Gasoline engine has blow-by that goes by the rings, or the explosion happens inside the engine. Particles go down in your oil, and oil does two things. It lubricates and it absorbs carbon. Carbon builds up into oil. If you have more carbon than you do lubrication properties, it's just going to start eating the metal products it's protecting.
Alternative Automotive, located at 542 Mansion Road, Winfield, just a short drive from everywhere. Keep your car healthy. Bring it to Alternative Automotive today. 542 Mansion Road, or call 368-8267. Give them a like on Facebook.
Trust the professionals at Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions. Buying or selling, they'll make your dreams come true. Here's farm auction and acreage expert Dan Stokes.
You know, Meyer & Company's been in the business for over 40 years. We specialize in things called 1031 exchanges, so we're very versed in how to exchange farm ground for other farm ground. So it's something that we do on a daily basis, and we really enjoy doing it.
We are the #1 stop in the region for buying and selling residential, commercial, and farm real estate. We've been serving the area for more than 40 years, and we do it with pride.
It's still a pretty strong seller's market. Dollars per acre is still high. If you're able to connect with a good agent and you can find something off market, we do that all the time, and we're able to still get some deals out there here and there.
Dan Stokes.
You can either call my cell phone at 314-971-0654, or you can call the brokerage at 636-462-5555.
Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, North Lincoln Drive in Troy, 636-462-5555. Online at meyerlistings.com.
The Wrecking Crew. What do you guys do here?
We recycle. Our typical business is picking up stuff that nobody else can get.
People may have a lot of money laying in their property and they just don't realize it.
They do. A lot of money sometimes, and not where you would think it would be.
Where are you located?
Troy, Winfield, Vandalia, Missouri. And we do boxes, trailers. We cut stuff up on site. We do insurance work. Farmers, if you have a burnt building or wind damaged building or grain bin, that's our specialty.
How do they get a hold of you?
Call me personally or call the office.
The Wrecking Crew. 636-462-1727.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center. Online at MeyerListings.com. Broken clouds in Troy. Getting down to 8 overnight tonight. Monday's high will be in the lower 20s. Scattered clouds likely. Temperatures in the upper teens forecast on Tuesday. Currently in Troy it's 11. In Wentzville it's 11 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground? Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions. Online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Well, welcome back to Uncensored Wrestling Talk. We are live in the Gateway Fiber Studios of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. Of course, we have video going on the radio's Facebook page. You can find that at 1280 AM, 105.3 FM, KYRO. Of course, also on Traveling East Productions Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Go like and subscribe and check out all the different awesome programming that's going on those. And then also, of course, Uncensored Wrestling Talk on Facebook as well. Join us with your conversation and your and the questions as well if you'd like to join in on our stuff today. You know, jumping back to some of those names that we were talking about earlier about who's leaving AEW and whatnot. According to PW Torch, Malachi Black told some people in AEW in the last year or two that he was burnt out and perhaps even mentioned potentially retiring. It's uncertain if that's still true, which I don't believe it was true to begin with. However, or if he hopes, he was saying that in hopes it would lead to his AEW release. But the outlet also says that Black was criticized by colleagues in AEW over his reluctance in doing jobs and frequent claims of injury issues. And also that, and this is the part that I find a little bit disturbing, that Black and Tony Khan apparently never developed any rapport between the two of them. And if that is the case, that's kind of sad in my book.
Yeah, because if you don't have a rapport, you don't know what's going through their mind and where they see their career going, or, because, everybody wants to be a world champion, but you still have to work together. But if you have no rapport with the guy, then why have him on your roster?
Well, and we've talked about this in the past on this show, about how we felt that Tony Khan was just signing wrestlers to sign them to keep them away from WWE. And honestly, whether that's has happened or is happening with Tony Khan, we know that it's happened with WWE as well, and other organizations. That's kind of sad in itself as well. I hate seeing that type of thing. But if you're not developing a rapport, especially with your wrestlers, the likes of Malachi Black, Aleister Black, whatever you want to call him, then, and if you're not even attempting to,
right,
that's the biggest thing. Are you attempting to?
To me, kind of a weird thing with Malachi Black is it seemed like they were getting ready to push him again.
Mm-hmm. Especially in that match that he had with Edge.
Right. And then it stops. So, if it's backstage politics, I don't know.
And of course, there's always those possibilities that, he might have been injured as well.
Right.
But, I mean, even with that being said, there's got to be give and take in both on both ways.
Right.
It's got to be give and take both ways.
Absolutely.
Course, all the time, no matter what. But if you're truly not attempting to develop, that rapport between quote unquote management and the wrestler themselves,
right?
There's that becomes a major disconnect,
right?
And eventually that person is going to get frustrated to the point where when it's time to come around for contract signing, that particular person is going to be like, see ya, bye-bye.
Right. I don't know. The thing about it is, and I was just sitting here kind of thinking was, take a Malachi Black or a Miro.
Mm-hmm.
Say they do sign with WWE. Where are they going? Do you put them back on the main roster? Do you put them in NXT? Or do you send them to TNA?
That's a good question, too.
Personally, I think Malachi would be a great addition to TNA.
Could be.
Miro, I was thinking NXT because
Miro's a strange one. Because I haven't read
only because Obafemi's the champion. That's really why. Strength against strength.
Sure. But, I mean, with Miro, though, it's really a strange story because I personally haven't seen or read anything where he's been injured or anything along those lines. However, over the last 2.5 years, almost 3 now, we would see him come in, wrestle once or twice, and then complete disappear for 6, 7, 8, 9 months at a time.
Right. And it's always
and that's
booking.
Just not,
They always say, well, it's booking. He has a problem with creativity. Well, is that what they got rid of him in the first place from WWE?
It could be. It could be. Who knows? But at the same time, though, I mean, and that's why I can see both sides of the issue here. Because if it's just you signed a contract, right? You signed a contract to perform in the ring,
right?
And if you're not doing that, you're not fulfilling your end of the contract, and that's just not right and fair as well. Now, if it's management, not coming up with different things, and as well, that falls on them too, of course. So both sides could very well be at blame here, but there's got to be some sort of a meet in the middle, right?
Yeah, well, it goes, to me, then it goes, and unfortunately, we don't see what each person's contract, but then I start thinking, well, do they have the Kevin Nash creative control contract, where they can veto anything that's put to them just because they don't want to do it?
Yeah. All right, also, sources told WrestleVotes, and I know we're jumping around, but we're just going all over the place with these news and rumors because they're all over the place anyway.
That's wrestling, isn't it?
That's right. Sources told WrestleVotes that WWE will host a WrestleMania press event on Super Bowl weekend, just like last year when The Rock had slapped Cody Rhodes in the face. That's going to be I think that is going to become an event in itself,
right,
from here on out, starting from last year.
Well, with it stirred a big revolution in the wrestling community, especially whenever The Rock slapped Cody. Because then it's the Cody crybabies and everything, but yeah, I mean, they did it once. Let's do it again and see if we get the same reaction. Now, what's going to actually happen? Who knows?
And that particular press conference from last year, that was like an hour and a half to 2 hours long, and that's why I say it's an event in itself now.
Right.
So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. We were talking a little bit about Grand Slam Australia a little while ago. A lot of people have pointed out that AEW advertised its Grand Slam Australia show to air on TNT Network, as we had said, at the same time as the NBA's All-Star Saturday Night events on February the 15th, which raised questions about whether a scheduling change will need to be made. AEW has now posted an updated graphic that doesn't include a time. Okay, so with that being said, I can kind of see that All-Star, the NBA's All-Star Saturday Night event, it happens, and then after that goes off. Since this is going to be shown as a tape delay anyway,
right?
It'll happen directly afterwards.
Yeah,
and what's the big deal, right?
Yeah, that doesn't really bother me. We could see that coming down the pipe. Something I was kind of curious about on AEW. I watch on TBS and TNT. Now, do you have Max? Do you watch it on Max?
No, I haven't watched it on Max. I've only.
I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious if there's a difference, just like in Netflix. You have the premium package.
Oh, you mean like with backstage stuff?
Right.
There could be. I'm not sure. I haven't really. I don't have Max yet.
See, I don't have Max either, so I was just kind of curious. Yet. I was kind of curious if anybody out there has Max, and have they watched AEW on Max?
Now, there we go. If you're watching right now and you've heard us talking about this, give us your comments. Let us know what you've seen on the Max stream. So, for me personally, I'm probably going to since the next pay-per-view isn't until March, I'm probably going to wait until just before then to pull the trigger to get Max. Just for the simple fact to see how much more that we're going to have to pay.
Correct.
To see the pay-per-view. And I tell you, if it's more than $20,
yeah, see,
if
I'm
it's
frugal.
more than $20, we're gonna have.
Hey, for $20, I could go to a live event.
Well,
and enjoy it
there
much
is
more.
That too. Now, also, Dave Meltzer, he heard from many people who were bothered by MJF's promo line on Dynamite this past week about Jeff Jarrett's history of killing pro wrestling companies. Yikes.
Are we at a break or not?
Yeah,
we're gonna have to discuss it in the second one because I had that as a high talk point for
sure
today.
Well, when we come back, we'll lead it off with that. But here in about a minute or so, we will be going to the top of the hour, and then we'll be back at about 6 after, and we'll continue on with the second hour of the shows. So, again, the video broadcast of the shows here on KYRO are brought to you in partnership with Traveling East Production and made possible by Safe Harbor Insurance, Blue Line Lawn Care and Landscaping, Original Crow Feather Crystal Healing Jewelry, and Pickle on the Run. And you can find them on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And of course, again, a big thank you to our main sponsor for this show, and that is NWA's World League Wrestling. The next show is on February the 8th. Get your tickets right now. Do not wait around, as we now are going to go to the top of the hour break, and we will be back in a little bit.
Live from the Gateway Fiber Studios, online at gatewayfiber.com. News Radio 105.3, 1280 KYRO Troy. It's 11 o'clock in the Heartland.
Fox News, I'm Jack Callahan. The first 3 Israeli hostages held by Hamas in Gaza have been freed. All 3 are women kidnapped in the October 7th, 2023 terror attacks. They are all reported to be in good condition. Their release, part of the ceasefire agreement that took effect today. Israel's U.S. Ambassador Danny Danon telling Fox and Friends the incoming Trump administration helped to get the deal done.
Well, President Trump and his team were very involved. They pushed the negotiators, Qatar and Egypt, to be more involved. They put the deadline, and we are thankful for their involvement. This deal, I don't like to call it a deal. The framework for the release of the hostages was on the table back in May, and Hamas said no. I think now with the pressure of the outgoing administration and President Trump and the team, we saw it happening.
President-elect Trump says he'll give TikTok a 90-day reprieve of the ban that resulted in the app going dark at midnight last night. Americans listen to Fox News.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages finishing higher for the day and week, with both the Dow and S&P 500 notching their largest weekly gain since the presidential election. Markets appear to be optimistic ahead of the Trump presidency, with investors getting in gear for a batch of policy changes under the new administration. Tech was the best performer, while healthcare lagged and chip stocks advanced. Shares of Intel jumped 9%, following a report that the chipmaker is an acquisition target. Shares of both Meta Platforms and Alphabet gained, remained after the Supreme Court upheld a federal law that would ban TikTok nationwide on Sunday unless it was sold by its China-based parent company. The price of Bitcoin surging, topping $104,000. The Dow up 335 points, the Nasdaq higher by 292, S&P 500 up 59. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
It is time to take the quiz.
5 days a week, it's 5 questions in less than 5 minutes. We ask people on the streets of New York City to play along. Let's see how you do.
Including the pre-Super Bowl era, what NFL franchise has won the most NFL championships?
I'm going to say the Cowboys.
Yes, I would say the Packers.
How'd you do? Exactly. These get tougher, so hang on.
Take the quiz every weekday at thequiz.fox. Thank you for taking the quiz.
Trust the professionals at Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions. Buying or selling, they'll make your dreams come true. Here's commercial property and development expert Rick Meyer.
Oh, it's been a great family business. My dad started the company, and we have been in business a long time. And really what keeps us in business, I think, is just working with our good customers and clients and the relationships that we're able to build. It's really important to us, our agents, to build that relationship, but provide the service to this your local community.
We are the #1 stop in the region for buying and selling residential, commercial, and farm real estate. We've been serving the area for more than 40 years, and we do it with pride.
You can reach us at and look at all our properties at MeyerListings.com. You can also call us at 636-462-5555.
Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, North Lincoln Drive in Troy, 636-462-5555. Online at MeyerListings.com.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Isaac Lowenkron.
MLB.com reports that free agent relief pitcher Tanner Scott has agreed to a 4-year, $72 million deal with the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Scott was named an All-Star for the first time last season with the Marlins before being traded to the Padres at the end of July. In the NFL on Saturday night, the Washington Commanders won at 1 seed Detroit 45-31 to advance to the NFC Championship game for the first time in 33 years. In that contest, they will visit either the Eagles or the Los Angeles Rams, who meet at 3 p.m. Eastern today at Philadelphia. Earlier on Saturday, the Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Houston Texans 23-14 in the AFC Championship game. Kansas City will host either the Bills or the Baltimore Ravens, who meet at 6:30 tonight Eastern Time at Buffalo.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center. Online at MeyerListings.com. Broken clouds in Troy. Getting down to 8 overnight tonight. Monday's high will be in the lower 20s. Scattered clouds likely. Temperatures in the upper teens forecast on Tuesday. Currently in Troy it's 11. In Wentzville it's 11 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground? Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions. Online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Well, welcome back. It is hour number 2 of Uncensored Wrestling Talk here in the Gateway Fiber studio of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. Of course, also on all the different Facebook feeds and Rumble and YouTube and X and everything else that's on out there. Join us with your conversation and your questions. We will be more than happy to read them and discuss with you. And before we went to the top of the hour break, I brought up something that you want to jump into.
Right.
And that is this, that Dave Meltzer heard from many people who were bothered by MJF's promo line on Dynamite about Jeff Jarrett's history of killing pro wrestling companies. And before we jump into that part of it, H.D. Daniels, who normally is here in the studio, he's home this morning because wife and child is sick, and we hope they get to feeling better very soon. And we miss you, H.D.
We do.
He says that the MJF and JJ segment was just not good, guys. Just vulgarity for no reason. And you know what? I 100% agree with him. I agree with him that there was too much vulgarity going on. I think there's too much vulgarity going on in general, but also at the same time, something when we were talking about, off camera or off radio, I should say, during the break, is the fact that on the USA Network, both on Raw and on SmackDown now on Friday nights, whenever there was a vulgar chant going on by the crowd or there was some vulgarity coming out of the mouths of one of the wrestlers, you always hear that beep or the blank noise, right? So where you couldn't hear what was being chanted or what was being said. But then directly after the show goes off, and don't give me this, it's because of the time of the show, it's during prime time and all that. I don't care. Directly after the show is over with, and on the shows that are on right after Raw, right after SmackDown, there's all kinds of vulgarity going on that, then they don't beep it out or anything else, especially things like the F word and all that kind of stuff. So
for the shows, it's already written and it's already been signed off by the directors and everything. That's why they get away with it. Live, you're still supposed to censor it for any viewer, is the only thing I could come up with on that one.
Eek.
But should it be fair across the board? Absolutely. I mean,
it should be fair across the board.
But as far as the talk between, we'll say, Jeff Jarrett and MJF, I'm okay with the statement.
Really?
It's
With
just a
the
dig.
statement itself.
Just the statement. Now, some of the stuff that was said, okay, that's a little bit over the board. Him using Jeff Jarrett's old motto that he liked when he came into WCW, that was okay to me.
Was it true?
I don't know.
Was it true?
Well,
can't argue it, can you?
You can't. I like those digs. Let's be honest. Jeff Jarrett's got a history. He's got a lineage. You should be able to dig at some of this stuff. Sure. Do I think MJF always maybe crosses that line a little bit? I think he does.
Okay.
But the profanity, okay, come on. And innuendos sometimes get out of control.
Sometimes they do. You're absolutely right. Also, earlier in the week, during a fireside chat, and then of course we're continuing on with our news and rumors and stuff, during a fireside chat on Thursday, Nick Khan revealed that WWE will run premium live events in both France and Germany this year in 2025, according to the Las Vegas Review-Journal's Mike Akers. And you know what? That's cool. Bring it on.
Well, last year they did more and more events, specialties in the UK.
Yeah,
and
sure did.
I mean, they're as passionate as we are as far as fans.
Oh yeah,
so absolutely. I'm okay with.
I've said
some
this
of that
before,
stuff.
and I will stick to this. The crowds outside of the United States, especially over in Europe as a whole, those crowds are better. They're louder. They do chants during the shows. I mean, granted, we do chants over here as well, but they're not as boisterous. They're not as loud. They're not as fun. Sorry, but it's just the truth of the matter.
Yeah, they can get on the same page.
Into it. They really get into it. And if you ever sit back and you listen to folks doing the chants here in the States, what you just said applies. Not everybody's on the same page,
right? And
not everybody's in line with each other, right?
Right.
So
too much dissension.
but when you go to listen to the shows that happened last year in France and in Germany and in the UK, they're all together.
Yeah,
they're all together.
And if you notice with the WWE, they're trying to promote that even more, trying to get everybody on the same chant, trying to get more stuff like that so that everybody's singing the same song and doing everything together.
And hey, if you don't like it,
you don't have to sing. You
that's
don't
right.
have to say
I
anything.
guess you don't have to,
but you're missing out on joining in the fun.
You really are.
That's part of being in the audience. You get to scream and yell and say whatever you want, and that's a lot of fun.
For sure. Absolutely. 100%. Also, something that was brought up this week. Lucha Libre online sources claim that there are several AEW talents who are not happy with their current spot in the company. Some of these wrestlers didn't previously look to WWE as a real alternative, but that changed after seeing Penta's successful debut on Monday Night Raw. That's an interesting statement. And you know what? With Penta's debut on Monday Night Raw, I don't know how you saw it, but for me, I thoroughly enjoyed the entire thing. And I know that there was a little bit of backstage grumblings going on about the fact that segment went way long.
Right.
However, as a wrestling fan for myself, I enjoyed every bit of it.
Right. That is my match of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that match.
And Chad Gable did a heck of a job during that match too.
Great. You could see a little bit, a couple. Well, this is maybe how one company does it versus another company. But there is one thing that I did not like about that match.
What's that?
Him. Who's the announcer? Oh. Michael Cole. No, Michael Cole.
Michael Cole.
Saying, hey, he just hit a Mexican destroyer.
Mm-hmm. It was Pat McAfee that said it first.
Was it Pat that said it?
Yeah, it was him that brought it up.
That is not a Mexican destroyer. That is still the Canadian destroyer. It's not. I kind of have a problem with everybody changing the name of the same move.
You know why it's a Mexican destroyer, don't you?
Because Penta did it?
Yes. Because Penta's from Mexico.
Right.
If you're Mexican, it's a Mexican destroyer. If you're Canadian, it's a Canadian destroyer. If you're American,
just call it the destroyer.
That's what I was saying. In America, it's just called a destroyer.
But Dustin Rhodes does it, and they still call it a Canadian destroyer. Is he Canadian?
He's a little different, though. He does it just like they used to do it back in the old days. So
there's only one move out there, and it seems like everybody says the same thing. That's a figure four.
Well, there is that too.
Something else I was kind of curious about, because Penta's main singles finisher is the package pile driver.
Yeah.
And he was pretty close to hitting the package pile driver on, and they're calling it the Fear Factor, on Chad Gable.
Yeah.
He did turn him a little bit so it didn't drop him straight on his head. Is that running down the whole Kevin Owens thing?
That's what I was going to bring up, because with Kevin Owens.
So what's the difference between a package pile driver and the Fear Factor?
You want to know what the difference is?
One's Mexican, one's Canadian.
The difference between Kevin Owens, him doing that move, and Penta doing that move, and of course, the announcers try to bring it up that the pile driver is a banned move, and this and that and the other. But those two moves, which is the same move, it's the same move,
right? HD, where you at?
I mean, it's like this: if one can't do it or shouldn't be able to do it, the other one shouldn't be able to do it either.
Right.
And if you're going to badmouth the one doing it, you can't make it okay for the other person to do it.
Right.
Just saying.
That's me. I was just seeing if other people saw that too, But still, awesome match. Like I said,
Very
to
cool
me,
match.
it's the match of the
Very
week.
good debut for Penta on WWE.
I'm excited to see and I really enjoyed his promo afterwards.
Yeah, it was good.
You could see some heart in it, and
wrong with it.
You can see the heart and the passion.
For sure, 100%. Also, on a recent Backstage Pass Q&A, Russell Vogt said that they had heard some rumblings about a particular match at WrestleMania 41. And a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, it's been a little while. But I said on this program right here, on Uncensored Wrestling Talk about a particular wrestler making their return at the Royal Rumble, winning it, and going on to WrestleMania 41. And that particular person, the Queen, Charlotte Flair, that there's rumblings of a Tiffany Stratton-Charlotte Flair match at WrestleMania 40, and will beat Tiffany Stratton to claim the championship for the 15th time.
I agree. No, I love the vignette they did.
I hate it for Tiffany Stratton and
but
Tiffy
you
time.
you could see this coming down Main Street. Now, is there going to be a swerve at the end? Don't know.
I doubt it,
but I kind of doubt it. You know, it would be interesting because somewhere along the line, well, what happens to? Are they going to revive the Rhea Ripley Charlotte Flair rivalry?
I doubt it.
Or you think that's done with?
No, I don't think it's done with. But you just had it, not too long ago. Give it some time to breathe,
right?
Before you just slam them right back against each other again. I don't want to see it right off the bat. Maybe in the next year, maybe after a year,
like a SummerSlam or something like that
of next year,
right?
Not this year, next year.
Okay.
I want some breathing time. They're both on opposite shows too. So if Charlotte Flair comes,
there's a transfer portal.
That's only right now before the draft after WrestleMania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're not gonna get in. You're gonna get me sidetracked. Stop it. Also, and this is a very good talking point for this that I want to get into. WrestleVotes also has said that the WWE wasn't very happy with last year's Hall of Fame ceremony, particularly how significant portions of the crowd left after Paul Heyman's acceptance speech. Votes isn't sure how this year will be different yet, but knows WWE is trying to come up with different ways to present everything. Here's my take on this real quick, and then I'll let you have your say. Last year, and for the last couple of years, the Hall of Fame has been on directly after SmackDown. SmackDown, up until now, has been a 2-hour show. And when you're going from 7 to 9 our time, 8 to 10 on the East Coast, and that's usually where it's at in that normal time frame right there. You've got to understand and take into effect that after that 2-hour SmackDown, there's going to be some people that are quote unquote burnt out. But now Friday Night SmackDown has gone to a 3-hour format, and with everything that I'm seeing so far, I haven't seen anything to say it's going to be different. Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame is again going to be on directly after SmackDown. And you're going to get more people that are going to, after they see their quote-unquote certain person, getting inducted, are going to take off. Here's the true solution to this.
See if you agree with me, because I have my solution already.
The true solution to this, Saturday and Sunday, you've got WrestleMania. Saturday morning, early afternoon, you've got the NXT PLE. Friday night, you've got SmackDown. You do it like it has been done before, and you put it on Thursday night. Bottom line.
Absolutely. This should be a separate event, and I'm sorry. I think they've lost something trying to do it in the ring in the middle of the arena.
I don't mind it being put into the ring.
I really liked it on the stage. And where they dress up and they bring it in. And,
sure,
you've got that whole week of WrestleMania. People are going to be there Wednesday, Thursday. I guarantee you could sell out a small venue and do it on a Wednesday or Thursday.
I mean, you could even have the stage in the middle of the arena where the ring would be.
Right.
It doesn't really matter whether it's in the ring, on a stage, whatever. But you've got to do it as a separate event.
Absolutely.
And then you can have it as a 2-hour, 3-hour event, and everybody's going to stay.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
Right.
You don't want anybody leaving? That's the best way to do it. And now, with that being said, we're a little bit over and taking our break, so we're going to go ahead and take our first break of the second hour. And when we come back, hey, you know what? We're just going to keep that train moving right here on Uncensored Wrestling Talk here on News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO, and all of our Facebook, YouTube, Rumble feeds. And we will be right back.
Award-winning severe weather coverage when it counts. 24/7 from News Radio 105.3, 1280 AM. Powered by the Quiver River Electric Cooperative, a Touchtone Energy cooperative. Depend on it.
The Wrecking Crew. What do you guys do here?
We recycle. Our typical business is picking up stuff that nobody else can get.
People may have a lot of money laying in their property and they just don't realize it.
They do. A lot of money sometimes, and not where you would think it would be.
Where are you located?
Troy, Winfield, Vandalia, Missouri. We do boxes, trailers. We cut stuff up on site. We do insurance work. Farmers, if you have a burnt building or wind damaged building or grain bin, that's our specialty.
How do they get a hold of you?
Call me personally or call the office.
The Wrecking Crew. 636-462-1727.
Hi, I'm Ryan Ruckle, one of the pastors at Redemption Road Church in Winfield. I want to personally invite you to worship and hear the good news of Jesus right here on News Radio KYRO every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. I hope you'll join us this week.
Well, welcome back to Uncensored Wrestling Talk here in the Gateway Fiber studio of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. Also on all of our different feeds, the radio's Facebook feed. Let's see here, Traveling East Productions, YouTube, Facebook, and Rumble feeds as well. The Uncensored Wrestling Talk Facebook feed. On X, we're there as well at UW Talk, KYRO. And, also something that we were talking about before we went to break. My solution, and this is from H.D. Daniels, my solution is make Mania one night only. It's too much. Well, I would like it to be one night as well. However, with the money that they generate and the action that they generate and all that kind of stuff, we're not going to ever see in our lifetime, I think.
So you would literally have to start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and go from 1 to 9.
No, you don't. No, you don't, because it's been proven they can do it already. That's how it used to be. One night, Sunday night, boom.
But the rosters are too big. The rosters are too big. And there's too many storylines, and you don't want to leave people off.
That's why you only have the biggest of the biggest
and the best
on the
of
show.
the best.
That's right. It's supposed to be the best of the best, right? I mean, come on. I'm kind of in agreement with HD on this, but we're not going to see anything go back to just one night, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think so.
SummerSlam this year goes to 2 nights.
Yep.
Before much longer, I think, and when I say not much longer, I mean like in the next few years or so, I think we see where it becomes at least the top 4, the big 4, quote-unquote big 4 for WWE, the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series, those going to 2 nights.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
Yeah, with the Royal Rumble, you have a women's night and then you have a men's night.
But as far as that Hall of Fame show goes, though, it needs its separate time frame.
Absolutely.
It needs its separate day. And then also, sticking with WWE still, regarding talk of WWE hosting a PLE in Mexico soon. Russell Votes also says that there's a very high possibility that happens in 2026. Now, does it suck for us here in the States of not having it in the States and not being able to go to it here in the States? Sure. Yeah. But at the same time, it broadens the horizon. Let's do it. Let's go.
We're all fans. We're all wrestling. One community.
That's right.
So I'm okay with it. Just like them having special events in UK. Absolutely. Go for it. Great.
Another rumor is that WWE is shooting to have Tonga Loa back on TV around WrestleMania time frame. And I'm like, okay, because, he also broke his leg at War Games.
War Games, yep.
Back at Survivor Series in November. So that's about the right time frame for a broken leg to heal and everything. So that's the biggest question. And I know HD hates this bloodline stuff with a passion, but
well, he's not here. We can talk about it without him rolling his eyes at us.
He's still, I guarantee you, he's still rolling his eyes, all right? He's still going to roll the eyes. But, I mean, is it getting stale?
Yes, it is. I even had it down here on my notes. Yes, I think it's kind of getting a little bit stale. They've got it built up. They've got the base to it. But now we're just kind of floundering around for a couple of weeks. The whole thing of Solo coming into the ring, not saying a word, dropping the mic, walking away. Mm-hmm. Again, then is Jacob Fatu going to become the next tribal chief?
Yeah.
I like hearing Jacob talk. I think it's fun.
I love you, Solo.
I love you.
That's all we ever hear him say, though.
But it needs. It needs something and needs to move along a little bit quicker. They're slowing it down, and I understand they're probably going to try to do something for WrestleMania. Maybe we just got to get through Royal Rumble, and something's going to happen there.
You never know. You never know. Some more comments from our normal co-host here, HD Daniels, our resident referee. He says that, honestly, if you promote Mania as one day, you could start at noon and run all day. It would be spectacular, and you don't have to plan your life around 2 days, just one. I wouldn't have a real big problem with that either. He also says that Solo said nothing, and Jacob cuts a promo just for himself. It didn't make any sense. And you know what? Again, I've got to agree with the one and only HD Daniels.
Right. But again, let's move it along a little bit. I understand they've kept this as a slow burn. Well, we've burned. We're almost ignited.
We're only in the fourth inning, buddy.
Right.
Also, WWE has an idea of how long they want Raw on Netflix to be, and of course I'm just taking different things that I had put out from the week. WWE has an idea of how long they want Raw on Netflix to be per Fightful Select. It's not known what the length is, but neither the premiere nor this week's show reflected the official runtime. Fightful Select, just as I said before, and this is directed to Fightful Select, just as I had said before, it is going to be 2.5 hours. That's the quote-unquote sweet spot that Triple H wants. I get how everybody says that it's too much, it's too much, it's too much. I get you. I understand. But at the same time, if I'm paying my hard-earned cold cash for an event, whether it be a pay-per-view or whether it be Monday Night Raw, something that's streaming, I want the entirety of that show that has been promised to me. When it
but
was
they never
said,
promised.
They did say Triple H had said, he was asked during one of those post-Mania scrums, is Raw and SmackDown going to stay a 3-hour show? His answer was one word: yes, it will. Okay, awesome. If that's the case, here's my money. Take it. I'll watch you on Netflix.
Right.
Well, now it's 2.5.
Again, I think,
and I don't get any of the extras.
we're at the beginning stage of the whole Raw Netflix. Let's let it go a month or two and see if we're still feel the same way.
Okay.
If they don't have enough content.
I'm going to make a prediction right now. that in 2 months, when we bring this thing back up again, in 4 months, and in 6 months, and a year from now, it will still be the same as it is right now. It'll be like 2.5 hours. We won't be getting the extra, and Sergeant will not be a happy camper.
You're making that bet, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, speaking of that, both Fightful and PW Insider reported the reason that January 13th Raw was timed for 2.5 hours was so WWE could put on dark matches after the Netflix stream ended and still allowed people flying out that night to get to the airport. That was known and not a surprise to anyone backstage. Insiders says while some talents were upset other segments were trimmed after Penta went long, they weren't particularly upset at Penta himself. I don't care if you're upset at Penta if it went long. I don't care.
Right. It was a good match. It should have went long. They could have almost gone 40
minutes.
minutes.
Still only went 2.5 hours, and I want my extra time, and I want the content in between on the commercials. That's my point. TNA.
You're getting a little angry over there.
Yes. Paying my hard-earned cash, by golly. TNA is planning a live episode of Impact from Orlando on February the 20th. That's per Fightful Select. It won't be the start of regular live broadcasts, but Sean Ross Sapp's TNA sources tell him that Impact will go live on special occasions when it makes sense for the company. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. But I really think that when you do live shows, it adds just a little bit more flair to it. It adds a little bit more intrigue to it. Are they going to be able to get it all done in a certain amount of time? You know, are they all going to get it done in 2.5 hours?
Is that on a Thursday?
Yeah, it's going to be. I believe February 20th is on a Thursday,
which makes sense.
If they're doing and like I talked about, you know, at the very beginning of the show an hour and a half ago, if they're going to do this multi-year partnership, I really believe that TNA Impact on Thursday should be live. I really do. From here on out, every show, it should be live.
I totally agree. I don't understand. I'm kind of surprised that they're not. Why they would do 3 or 4 tapings.
And usually those 3 or 4 tapings that they do are done in basically a 2-day time period.
Right.
And sometimes it's even more. Sometimes it's 6 weeks worth of programming. And then they have nothing going on for the wrestlers themselves for several weeks on end.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing a live show each week, it keeps them fresh.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, granted, they could be off doing indie stuff and everything like that on the weekends, and they could still be doing that kind of thing if they allow them to. However, if they're not, it keeps them fresh if they're doing stuff week to week.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's the model of WWE. Let's do everything live, you know. So for TNA to go live, absolutely, I would love it. But it should be every week.
HD Daniel says, remember, Sarge, you pay for cable and have learned how to live with commercials. Netflix is like cable now. He's really going to get me. He just wants me to jump on that train, and I'll jump on the train, but I ain't going to be happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I knew there was going to be commercials with Netflix. I was just hoping not as much.
Yeah. All right, here's something else that I find quite interesting. People very close to Vince McMahon say he's been told the criminal investigation by the Southern District of New York, excuse me, is now done. Vince is very relieved, and it's vindication in his mind, per Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer. Here's my thought on that. Number one, we haven't really heard whether or not that investigation is over with or not. So don't count your chickens before they're hatched type thing. Plus, also, with when it is done, I believe that those that are doing that investigation, I believe it's the FBI that's doing it.
Right.
They're gonna make an announcement of some sort of what they have found and what they didn't find and all that kind of stuff. That has not happened yet. So as far as I'm concerned, it is not over with yet. But then, once that part is over with, the other suit that was brought by that young lady gets back onto the roll again.
Yeah.
So when that is completed, then we'll do some research and we'll go over that entire story. But until then, I'm just not going to even touch the subjects of what's going on with that.
Well, the only thing I think, if he's criminally cleared, that means it doesn't sound like any jail time. Doesn't mean he's not guilty.
Right.
Just no jail time.
Right. But again, we haven't really heard.
Right.
So
it's all speculation.
Good job there, Dave Meltzer. Also, McMahon is still looking to start a new entertainment company. And there are several ex-WWE people that were close to him that are working for him right now with the new company. It's, quote-unquote, not a wrestling company. When Meltzer asked what the company will be, he was told, it's a secret. It's a wrestling company. It's another doggone wrestling company that Vince McMahon is going to bring out. That's what I believe. That's what I think. But you know what? I don't care.
Maybe he's going to bring back the six-sided ring.
Oh, Lord.
People, if you could see the eye roll on that one.
Lord.
Oh.
Hey, we are up against our very last break of the show. We're going to go ahead and take it. And then when we get back, we'll finish up with all these news and rumors. But there's something special that I want us to talk about before we end the show. And that's in particular on a little something about Paul Heyman. So we'll get to all those things right after this here on Uncensored Wrestling Talk on News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO, and we will be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is News Radio KYRO Vice President and General Manager John Chepper, and I have a question for you. Have you ever considered hosting a foreign exchange student? If you haven't, perhaps the time is now. You can host a high school student from another country who lives with your family for 5 to 10 months, a new international branch for your family tree, and an opportunity to share your part of America with an international teenager. AYUSA has been connecting families around the world for over 30 years. A track record of trust with compassionate, engaged student leaders and personalized host family support. There's no typical family. No matter where you live or how your family is structured, there's a student waiting for a family like yours for a unique opportunity. Find out more by contacting the AYUSA local representative Tricia Schneidermeyer at 636-295-7224. Explore the wonderful opportunities that AYUSA has to offer, connecting families around the world for over 30 years.
King Scott here, and I'm with John Lang, owner of Mountaintop Motor Company. John, tell us about the latest sales you guys have going on.
King, we don't have one.
What? You're an auto dealership. You have to have some kind of sale going on.
Nope, no quote, unquote sale going on at our place. And you know why? Why? Because usually those sales promotion at other dealerships, they're BS, man. Most of the time they're robbing Peter to pay Paul somewhere, and we don't play those games at Mountaintop. We're not about sales, we're about true savings.
I like that. No sales, just savings. You're saying come in, check out the inventory, and you guys will prove that your pricing is always super competitive.
Correct. We've got so much great inventory in the lot right now. Many vehicles starting at $15,000 or lower. And with our great prices, we're confident we can get you set up the right way.
You heard it. Great pricing, great inventory, great people to work with. And there's a reason Mountaintop Motor Company has over 1,000 5-star reviews. Please don't settle for just any dealership. Aim higher and go visit the good guys in Troy. MountaintopMotors.com, Facebook, and Instagram.
The Olean Livestock Market is now the Olean Regional Stockyards and under new ownership. The Olean Regional Stockyards will be holding sales every Monday at 12 noon. For consignment and trucking needs, call Hayden Hurst at 573-690-2705 or Dusty Roberts at 417-298-9755. The Olean Regional Stockyards, same location, 56 Highway FF in Eldon. Our new ownership allows us to make improvements to our facility while maintaining familiarity to our customers. We can't wait to serve you. The Olean Regional Stockyards, the best destination for cattle buyers and sellers.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Scattered clouds in Troy, getting down to 8 overnight tonight. Monday's high will be in the lower 20s, scattered clouds likely. Temperatures in the upper teens forecast on Tuesday. Currently in Troy it's 11. In Wentzville it's 12 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground? Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Welcome back to Uncensored Wrestling Talk here in the Gateway Fiber Studio of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. Of course, also on all of our different feeds that we've got going on. The radio's Facebook feed, Traveling East Productions, Royal... YouTube. I almost said Royal Rumble. I don't know. Royal Rumble's on my brain. That happens in a couple of weeks. Traveling East Productions, YouTube, Rumble. That's what I was trying to say.
That's where I know where you're trying to get.
And, of course, X. And then also Uncensored Wrestling Talk's Facebook page. And on X at UW Talk KYRO. Join us on all of those if you would like to get in on the conversations and the questions that we've got going on today. Real quick, we'll finish up with these news and rumors. On their Elite Pay site, PW Insider reports that Tyler Bate is close to being cleared from the pec tear that he suffered last summer. I can't wait to see him come back. The next question is he going to join back up with Pete Dunne? Who knows? That would be pretty cool, I think, though, to continue that going and see them in a fight with DYI for those tag team championships. And maybe mix it up a little bit with the Motor City Machine Guns as well.
No, I think it'd be great. But do you put them on Raw, though? Because, let's be honest,
They've
Raw...
been on SmackDown most of the time.
I know, but the tag team division on Raw it needs a lot of help, if you ask me.
So put them on Raw.
Yep.
Put them on Raw then.
And how about him being a heel? We haven't seen Tyler Bate as a heel.
We really haven't. You're right.
But
we really haven't.
But when he was Mustache Mountain, they were technically heels.
Technically.
So, just food for thought.
Also, MLW signed Matt Riddle, who just recently won their world championship, to an exclusive contract late last year, and that's per Lucha Libre Online. Now, here's something, and I'm going to finish the news rumors and stuff with this, and I think this is going to be very, very interesting to see what exactly happens with this. The contracts of multiple New Japan wrestlers, including rising stars like David Finlay, and I'm sorry, in those words, including rising star, he's not a rising star.
No,
he is a star.
He is a star.
David Finlay and Gabe Kidd are set to expire at the end of this month, and that's according to Fightful Select as well. If they don't sign back up with New Japan, I tell you what, AEW would be a really good spot for Gabe Kidd, and he could continue that. I guess you could call it little feud that he was having with the returning Kenny Omega. That was a very, very good match. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest you go and take a look at that one, and that was, of course, Kenny Omega's return to wrestling after dealing with diverticulitis and everything. That was an extremely good match. That would be cool to see them continue a little feud from that. David Finlay, though. Where would you like to see David Finlay end up going?
See, I was thinking both of them. Rick's, where I think they would do the best and have a bigger impact is Ring of Honor. Bring them both into Ring of Honor.
Okay.
And,
that's still being signed under AEW.
It's still being signed under AEW, yes. But again, you're bringing them back in to get their name to more of the United States fans. Because, they've had hell of a run in New Japan. Now, let's see what they could do, and I think Ring of Honor would be a good step, especially if they're really trying to bring back Ring of Honor. Or are they just going to let it die on the limb?
Yeah, well, they're not letting it, quote-unquote, die. They're still doing Honor Club stuff with it.
Right.
They're still doing pay-per-views every quarter, basically.
Right.
So they've still got things going on with it. It's just not everybody watches it. Not everybody gets to watch it because not everybody does Honor Club.
Right.
Why do we have to pay for 100 different streaming services to get what we want to watch? It's kind of,
yes, their fingers are in everybody's pockets.
Pretty much. I mean, I know they were saying cable's dead now and this and that and the other, but you know what? Why does it have to be?
Right.
Why can't we just pay one certain price for everything and be done with it?
Sarge, that's what we need to start is a global wrestling channel.
Well, there is several of them out there, but it's just
bringing it all under one roof.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we can do something like that. I don't know. We'll see.
You heard it here first.
We'll see what happens. Also, let me find this real quick here because I wanted to mention something about this too. We've got about 10 minutes left on the show. Even though Hulk Hogan was loudly booed on Raw's Netflix debut, Dave Meltzer says WWE is bringing him back for Saturday night's main event on January the 25th. I'm going to stop the story just for a moment right there. This goes out to one particular person, all right? Just one. C.T. Harrison. Listen to me, son. We went over to his place on Monday night to call episodes for WOW Showdown. And he was telling me how he watched Saturday night's main event over the weekend. And how it was really, really good. And this and that and the other. You either watched, and this is what I told him that night. Oh, no. It was this month's thing. He either watched a recap of December's Saturday night main event, or he watched the Saturday night main event from December. It was not January's Saturday night's main event. Saturday night's main event comes up on January the 25th, which is a week from yesterday.
Exactly.
That being said, I'm okay. That being said, Hogan was apparently booed like crazy by the live audience of this week's Raw in San Jose when he was shown on the video screen.
I didn't hear that, but
really interesting that he is getting booed everywhere now when you haven't really seen anything drama-wise, negativity-wise, or anything else from him over the last several years.
Yeah, I figured he got booed on the first Saturday night because where they were at.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, San Jose is still out in California.
Right. And California is predominantly Democrat.
Exactly. I want to know what happens. I want to see a report of what happens when they do a show from a quote-unquote red state.
Yeah.
And then if there's still booing going on, then there's something. Then there's something.
Or there's a trend that has started.
Exactly.
Because you could see he got flustered towards the end.
Oh yeah. Now, let's finish the show up with this. We've got about 8 minutes left. Seven and a half minutes left. Paul Heyman is synonymous, and I believe this. Paul Heyman is synonymous with brilliance in professional wrestling. From managing a litany of current and future Hall of Famers to revolutionizing the business with ECW, his contributions are undeniable. Yet Heyman rejects being labeled, quote unquote, one of the greatest managers, viewing it as a backhanded compliment that falls short of acknowledging his legacy. Appearing on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast, Heyman tackled the subject head on. Being the verbal maestro that he is, Heyman didn't mince words when asked about the notion of being recognized as one of the all-time greats. And this is what he says. If your significant other wakes up next to you and says you're one of the best lovers I've ever had, is it? Hey, honey, we're spending the morning in bed. Is it that? Or is it a call to the divorce lawyer? One of is not flattering at all. The object is to be the greatest, right? The conversation took a turn when Paul's co-host pointed out that Wikipedia, and we're talking about Wikipedia here now, lists Heyman as one of the greatest managers. Never one to shy away from expressing his disdain for anything less than complete reverence, Heyman responded emphatically. Anybody that follows this industry knows I'm not one of anything, and that I am the GOAT, and that it should be acknowledged and accepted and respected and worshipped. And when they read Wikipedia and it goes one of, they should go F blank Wikipedia. And you know what? I kind of agree with him. Number one, Wikipedia, there's a lot to be desired on Wikipedia.
Right.
Okay.
Wikipedia is just a lot of dates and nothing, if you ask me. There's good information.
There is a lot of good info on
but is it everything true?
Sometimes it's not completed information.
Right.
Now, with him being the greatest of all time manager, we were talking about this off the air before we came on the show. And you know what? When you were talking about a manager for singles wrestlers only.
Right.
And that's what he's been for the most part of his career. Now, way back in the early part, he was doing tag teams and alliances, the Dangerous Alliance, and stuff like that. But when you're talking about singles wrestlers and world championships, name me someone who has got just as many, if not more, than what he does. There isn't.
Yeah, different ones? Absolutely not.
Now,
he is.
If you want to talk championships alone, just championships, regardless, singles, tag teams, all that kind of stuff, Captain Lou Albano had 16 different teams that he took to tag team prominence with championships. He's got an argument. As being one of the greatest, the greatest. Not one of, the greatest manager of all time. Then you've got to throw in the name of Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Mm-hmm.
Did he manage any wrestlers that actually won a quote-unquote world heavyweight championship? It's debatable. It's questionable because, he was the manager for Nick Bockwinkel there for a while, and I'm going to have to do some research and find out if he was there at the beginning when Nick Bockwinkel held that AWA championship. But he never did it in WWE. All of his championship guys were either the Intercontinental Championship or tag teams.
Right.
I don't know.
But if you talk,
might have a case here.
My case might even. How about longevity of having a team or them holding on to one title? I think that goes to Jim Cornette.
Could be. It could be. Midnight Express is one of the
most decorated.
One of the most decorated, tag teams of all time,
and had long runs.
Well, I don't know. Wait a minute. I don't know if they're one of the most decorated tag teams. They've won several championships, but still though, Jim Cornette, one of the best tag team managers of all time.
Right.
He really is. But when it comes to tag team championships, again, Captain Lou Albano, nobody's even close to 16 different teams.
But length of time, it'd be interesting to, if we're going to split hairs, what is the length of time of each reign? They could be.
Does it really matter?
To me, it does.
A champion is a champion is a champion.
A
right?
champion is a champion, but if you're a champion for only 3 days versus 3 years, I think that's a bigger statement. If you're managing a champion or championship team for 3 years, that's a bigger statement.
Interesting. So would you say, from what he is saying, would you say, and the reasonings behind him, his thing, would you say Paul Heyman is the greatest, the GOAT, greatest of all time managers out there?
Because he's had some tag team experience with the Dangerous Alliance.
Samoan SWAT team,
and stuff like that, I would say yes.
The quote unquote original Midnight Express as well.
Yep.
I mean, there's all kinds of them that he's done.
I would say yes.
Really? Interesting.
From a pure managerial side of it.
Now,
yes.
when we go to,
but he also killed a company just like Jeff Jarrett.
I guess you could say that.
People are going to get angry. People are going to get angry. No,
I guess you could say that.
No, it's history. It's history.
As far as talking goes, being on the mic, I would say yes. He is the greatest of all time manager talking on the mic. I do. 100%. 100%. Absolutely. Well, we've got about 20 seconds left here in the show. Superfan, I do appreciate you coming in this morning, and I thank everybody on the Facebook feed that joined us as well. And I am Sarge. He is Tim. Next week, hopefully, we'll have HD back in the seat that the Ultimate Warrior doll is taking up right now. But until then, go watch some wrestling, and we'll see you next week here on Uncensored Wrestling
Live
Talk.
from the Gateway Fiber Studios, online at gatewayfiber.com. News Radio 105.3, 1280 KYRO Troy. It's 12 o'clock in the Heartland.